Hey guys, it's Brad from B&T Catfishing. Today we're talking about peg floats and how you can use them, or the different ways to use them. This might be something you want to hear, a little tip that it could be beneficial to you. Again, a peg float is simply a bobber. If you want to. I mean, you could actually use this thing, to catch bluegill if you wanted to, all the way up to your Santee Cooper rig for catfishing. And I'm going to show you a little secret today on these and a couple different things that you might want to look at or think about when you're setting up your rigs. It comes with two pegs, one, two, and a lot of times I see people not have that second peg in there. Now, let's be honest. I've had moments where I have lost a peg and I've gone ahead and used that float anyway. It happens. But when that happens, a lot of times this happens right here. The float starts coming off of your line. And the reasons for that is there is a slit in that line, a pre-made slit or cut in that line, which technically allows you to pop it on and pop it off your line without have to cut and change and redo your whole rig. A lot of times you could do a Santee Cooper rig and quickly turn that into a Carolina rig. But so a lot of people will use the one peg, and sometimes that works great, and then sometimes you have that peg fails. And this happens. It goes just like that. The peg is still there. The peg is still there. And, there you go. Your bobber or float is now gone. Okay, so let me show you something, a little secret. Again, what we want to do in reality is use both pegs for these floats, if at all possible. Couldn't get it out there for a minute. There you go. All right. But I'm going to show you something that will help hold it on there. These pegs have holes in them, right, in the end of it. So let's feed our line through one of the ends of one of the pegs. This is obviously if you're setting up for the first time. Obviously, if you're using the slit and putting it on there, then that's not going to help you out. You're not going to be able to do that. But we're going to use that. We're going to slide it on our line. We're going to slide it through to about where, go ahead and pop that in and adjust this to wherever you want to do. Now, when we put the second peg in, right, the second peg that's going in this float, it's very important. Remember, you got your slit right here. Put your line to the other side of the slit before you put this peg in. All right, that way if it pulls, it's pulling towards the peg and it's being blocked from getting out of that slit area. Okay, but even if that peg fails, it comes out, you're not losing your bobber. As long as this peg stays in that bobber, that float, all right, you're not losing it, because that is attached to your line. Okay, again, just like before, you can remove that peg and slide this thing up and down your line wherever you need to. If you don't have it, you're not, exactly got that where you want it depth wise, you just adjust it, pop it in there, and you're good to go. Now you're floating it. You got your hook down here on your Santee Cooper, and you're floating your baits, okay, up off the bottom. So that's another way to use it. Here's another tip for you real quick. We're going to look over here, and what we've got both of these pegs run through the line on this one. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and pop them in here. And again, we know this is not coming off this bobber, or off this bobber's not coming off this line. We're not going to lose that float. Okay. Now what I've done here is on this one, I've added a bead on the upper part and a line. Now you may want to use a split shot. It depends on how you do this. But what in essence I've done is we now have a slit bobber. Right? A lot of people are running out and they're buying this bobber and that bobber. Folks, your peg bobber is designed to be able to do that and be a slip bobber. It's not just pegged and stuck in one location on your line, okay? So if you're needing a slip bobber rig, there you go. Just like that. Tie the line here to as your stop, or put a split shot here as your stop, adjusting the depth of where you want that bait to be, or that bobber to stop at, to keep your bait up off the bottom in that scenario, okay? So there you go. A couple quick little tips on how to maybe secure your floats to your line, and you know, save yourself a little money. They're not that expensive, but if you buy as many as I do, it adds up over a period of time, along with the cost of all the other equipment we put out to do this sport we love. But again, bobbers, the peg floats, just use it as a bobber, use it as a float, use it as a peg float, use it as a slip bobber. There you go. It's multi-purpose fishing tool right there. So there you go. Y'all have a good day. We're going to keep coming back with some tips and suggestions for you guys. Hope you enjoy this. Be sure to subscribe. We love all the people out there that are following us, and we want to keep building our channel. So be sure to share this with your friends. We'll talk to you later. Have a good night.